All right, thank you guys. Welcome to our Major League Baseball video here today for Sunday, May 16th. My name is, what is my name? Brock Page. That's what it is. And I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. If you want to see which one of these YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally here today, don't forget to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, once again, guys, we're coming fresh off a winning day on my Patreon website yesterday. That's going to put us at 6-3 with a push in our last 10 board member tier package picks on that Patreon page. We also won 5 out of our last 8 $1.99 daily best plays on that Patreon site as well. What up? I didn't know you were standing there. And if you guys want to access today's daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99. Now, we currently have over 1,202 members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, guys, we're going to start with a couple of our later games here. I'm talking about the Reds taking on the Rockies, 3:10 Eastern first pitch. The Reds are minus $1.10, totals 11.5. Jeff Hoffman for the Reds, Antonio Sensatella for Colorado. Now, the Rockies have taken 2 of 3 already from Cincinnati in this series. They're 3-1 straight up in their last 4 ball games as well. The Rockies scored just about 6 runs a game at Coors Field, and they're averaging over 8.7 hits per contest as the home team. Ryan McMahon's hit 9 home runs and knocked in 26. Meanwhile, Trevor Story's got 16 extra base hits, and he's knocked in 21 himself. The Rockies lineup is in the top 10 in fewest strikeouts per game at the plate. They're taking on a Reds team who won just 8 of 20 on the road this year, in the bottom 10 in road runs allowed. Now, this Reds pitching staff also walks 4.5 batters a game when they travel. Jeff Hoffman is just 2-3 on the season, with a 4.70 ERA and a 1.47 whip. When it comes to the total in this one, since he's 14-6 to the over on the road, 26-11 to the over for the entire season. Meanwhile, Colorado's gone 14-10 to the over in the Mile High City. I'm going to lean toward the Colorado Rockies minus $1.10 and the over 11.5. Next matchup, Nationals D-backs, 4:10 Eastern start time. The Washington Nationals are minus 110, totals 9 juice to the over. Eric Fetty for the Nationals, Luke Weaver for the Diamondbacks. Now, Weaver struck out 35 batters in just over 36 innings of work. Arizona has a winning home record and ranks in the top 5 in home scoring. Eduardo Escobar, he's hit 9 home runs, 27 ribbies for Arizona. Meanwhile, Carson Kelly's also hit 6 homers and knocked in 19. They're taking on a Washington club who lost 7 out of their last 10. Eric Fetty's also looked pretty bad thus far. 2-4 record, 5.29 ERA. The righties walked 16 batters already and comes into today's contest with a 1.36 whip. The Nats have struggled on the road this year, just 6-10 straight up when they bat first. When it comes to the total in this one, Washington saw their last 2 straight with the D-backs get well over the total of 9 runs. Meanwhile, Arizona's 11-6 to the over at Chase Field. I'm going to lean toward the Washington Nationals minus $1.10 and the over 9 runs. Next ball game, Indians Mariners, 4:10 Eastern Standard Time. The Cleveland Indians are minus 190, total 7.5 juice to the under. Shane Bieber for the Indians, bullpen session for Seattle. Now, Seattle has cashed in on the run line here in 13 out of 20 home games, good for 65% in that category. They've also taken 2 of 3 already from Cleveland in this very series. 14 total runs they scored in those 2 victories. The Indians, on the other side, they've really struggled at the plate this year. They're in the bottom 3 in hits on average per game, as they average less than 6.9 hits per contest. They've also been held to 4 runs or less in 7 out of their last 8 ball games. Now, total-wise, 5 out of Cleveland's last 8 ball games stayed under the total of 7.5 runs. Meanwhile, Seattle went 11-9 to the under on their home field. I'm going to lean toward the Seattle Mariners plus 1.5 and the under 7.5 runs. Next matchup, Marlins versus the Dodgers, 4:10 Eastern start time. The LA Dodgers are minus 145, total 7.5. Jimmy Nelson for the Dodgers, Pablo Lopez for Miami. Now Lopez is 0-3 on the season with 15 walks. The Marlins have lost 6 out of their last 8 ball games, and they find themselves tied with the Nationals in the NL East cellar. Miami's currently 5 games below 500, and they lost 13 of 22 road games. Their lineup also strikes out over 10.2 times a game when traveling. They're taking on a Dodger club who's 12-5 straight up on their home field. LA's currently on a 4-game winning streak, and they're also in the top 3 in scoring on average per contest. Max Muncy's hit 8 homers and knocked in 23. The first baseman has also got himself an on-base percentage of .447, as he's been walked 36 times already. Meanwhile, Justin Turner is batting .311 with 7 bombs and 23 ribbies himself. Now, total-wise, Miami's 12-10 to the under as the away team, 22-17 to the under for the entire season. I'm going to lean toward the LA Dodgers minus 145 and the under 7.5. And now it's time for our next and final matchup for the show. I think I said that in the earlier game, but this is our next and final matchup. It is going to be Cardinals versus the Padres, 7:08 Eastern first pitch. The San Diego Padres are minus 130, total 7. Ryan Weathers for the Pods, Kwang Yun Kim for St. Louis. Now, Kim struck out 24 batters in just 23 innings of work. Kim also comes into today's start with a .274 ERA. Despite their struggles with San Diego, they still won 5 out of their last 8 ball games, and they still find themselves in first place in the NL Central by 3 games. The St. Louis pitching staff's in the top 5 in road hits allowed. They're taking on a Padre team who scores just 3.6 runs a game at Petco Park. The Padres are in the bottom 10 in home scoring, bottom 10 in home hits. Now, total-wise, the Padres are 15-6 to the under on their home field. St. Louis is 23-17 to the under overall for the season. I'm going to lean toward the St. Louis Cardinals plus $110 and the under 7 runs. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.